we get a better show than we got last week? I was pissed as hell about last week's Raw because they gave away a lot of garbage. They gave away garbage that should have been on the pay-per-view. I know I'm saying stuff that should be for the pay-per-view was garbage, but I got so angry. That's how I was thinking. This is garbage because this should be on the pay-per-view. Now, what do we get here? We got mostly okay stuff. And then you see, like, some really quirky stuff that's like, they did this because why? You're setting this up for months. And then you do this on this channel, this show, instead of leaving it for the pay-per-view. What? You think it's not going to be worth it? Akira Tozawa versus Neville for the Cruiserweight title. Why? This is one of those, do they really feel that 205 Live is so much garbage that there's no point in actually hyping up going to SummerSlam with Neville and Akira Tozawa? They might as well let Akira Tozawa get it now, and either he keeps it after SummerSlam or he drops it right back to Neville's hands. That's the way it felt. And it was a good match. But Akira Tozawa won 1 week before the show. 1 week before possibly going on the pay-per-view as a kickoff match. I'm just seeing it for what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I think they did this because they knew they were going to throw this on the kickoff show. And it really didn't have enough hype. So they decided to try and hype it up by letting Akira win here. And then when they throw it onto the kickoff show, which I could be wrong, it may be on the main card. Maybe. But it makes it feel like it. Because this isn't important. They let him win on Raw instead of letting him win on the show, which probably would be the kickoff show, which would be wrong. The Cruiserweight title was brought back for a reason, to make things more relevant. And the only thing they've done is bury the damn thing. I'm just saying. What did I feel about Dean and Seth finally getting together? I knew before they got together someone was going to get their ass kicked, which they did. Dean kicked Seth's ass and Seth kicks Dean's ass. Then there was some screwy ending to it, and then they finally got together, which I felt was the wisest thing to do. Do I believe that they had to drag it out like this? No. I really believe they didn't need to drag it out like this. They could have done it weeks ago. Many weeks ago, they could have had Seth team up with Dean. Or better yet, they could have done another pay-per-view. The people were so happy to see it. Don't you think it should have been done in the pay-per-view? Where you would get even a huge payout from it? I just feel like it could have been done better. But it is what it is. They finally happened. Now they're going to have, which makes no sense, what happened to Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson? What happened to the Hardys? You now have Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose going after the Raw Tag Team titles when there's been no match other than the one they had, and that was it. I just felt like they really didn't plan this out. But it was still good to see Dean and Seth together because this is what they've been building up to, and the people reacted pretty well. How did I feel about the one thing? You know, I'm going to save that for the end. I'm saving it for the end. You have Big Kaz with the shark cage, the Big Show, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, and the little shrimp, who's probably my height, a little taller, in a Enzo Amore. What did we actually get there? We get the Big Show smashing up his hand, and Enzo saying, dude, you can't do this. Leave this alone. And he says, I'm going to do it. Well, of course, you got also what Enzo said about, not Enzo, but I'm a little sick. Big Kaz, what he said about the Big Show needing Enzo to become relevant. Look, I said this before and I said it again. I'm alright with Enzo and Kaz being broken up as long as they were booked properly. And to be honest, they have not been booked properly. This has been the worst breakup and the worst situation for both these guys that you can see. I mean, I'm not interested in it. There was a slight moment I was interested before they had their match at the pay-per-view before this one. I can't even remember which one it is. And to be honest, if they had not fought one another, I actually would be more interested in seeing SummerSlam is where Enzo and Kaz do something with Big Show there. Now, I don't care. Big Show hurting his hand, supposedly broken. Do I care? No. I don't. And that's a waste, a loss. It's garbage. Here's another thing. Now, I didn't get a full chance to see the entire match, but I saw enough to know Bray Wyatt won and poured red goop all over the now going to become the demon Finn Balor. Look, this is bad for Bray Wyatt because this is giving him nothing. And I don't see anything good for the Finn Balor. For the simple reason is this. I don't care what anybody says. Finn Balor should be the demon most of the time. Not in very rare special occasions as he pull out the demon when he's not wearing the leather jacket. This is how you get a migraine. You got Finn Balor, who has a gimmick that could be a little bit of a shade of Kane and The Undertaker. But you don't take any advantage of it. Who says you have to show the demon every single time he does a match? It could be special. Certain pay-per-views, maybe once every 2 or 3 months, he pulls out the demon. When was the last time he pulled out the demon? Maybe last year, year before that. That's when he last pulled out the demon. And to be honest, he needs the demon. He needs to do the demon more often. Maybe once every 2 or 3 months, he pulls out the demon to actually use at a pay-per-view. Because this is what we need. We need him to use the demon more often. And if he has to use the demon when it's not a pay-per-view, it has to be in a fight, not in a match. If you use him in a match, forget it. It's a waste. You need to show him more often. This is how I feel. The end of the show, when it comes to what happened with the 4 participants, Brock, Broman, of so many people to remember. You already know them. You know what this is? This was a segment where it was only about Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. The 2 biggest guys there. Made Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns like nothing. They get thrown out early, and then it's Brock and Braun trying to kick each other's ass, but kick the ass of everybody else. And look what, tell me if you make any sense of this. You got 4 big guys. Samoa Joe's nearly 300 pounds. He can throw anybody he wants anywhere. You got Roman Reigns, who's supposed to, can do anything he wants. And they can't get back into the ring after just getting pummeled a little bit. They're held by 2 people each. Are you seriously telling me you buy that? I don't. They should have been able to jump back into the ring, and then they should have been able to fight. This just didn't feel like it was right. You got 2 competitors that needed to be by themselves, and you throw all 4 of them out there, and Kurt Angle's watching it. It just didn't feel right. It didn't. Am I still interested for the Fatal 4-Way? Yeah, to a point I am. I'm not going to say I'm not. I want to see where they're going to go with it. Will Braun Strowman have a direct fight with Brock Lesnar? That's going to be the question. Will he? I don't know. But when it comes down to it, it's hard not to want to see how this train wreck is going to happen. Finally, the one that pissed me off the most. Sasha versus Nia Jax. Why? Look, I love Sasha Banks. I do believe she has great ring ability. She talks well. She's pretty. She's capable. Out of everyone that came out of NXT from the last batch, she's the most well-developed and is able to do the most best work. I'm not saying that she's better than any of the other women that's been around for a while, but she, out of those pack of women, is the best. But it does not mean she should be in the main title scene right now. I'm saying it truthfully. Nia Jax needs to be the one who won that match. Nia Jax is the one that needs to be the winner and then go to SummerSlam and beat Alexa Bliss. You know why? Because as it stands, you have Nia Jax, who's 6 foot tall, or at least a little taller than that. She's taller than Tamina. Tamina's maybe about 5'10", and Nia's bigger than her. And she's getting her ass handed to her by a Bayley, a Sasha Banks, and an Asuka. If you go back to NXT. She has been beaten by small women more than a few times. And the problem is, what is the point of her being in the WWE Women's roster if she can get her ass beaten almost every time by a Sasha Banks, by a Bayley, maybe by a Charlotte? What is the point of a big ass woman like her not becoming champion? She should be the one going after Alexa Bliss. But no. None of these women have to struggle with her. Yeah, of course, the most jobbers, which is Dana Brooks. And the thing that pisses me off, Mickie James, who should be given more of an opportunity along with Emma. I'm showing them right there. But Nia Jax, she should have won. I don't mind looking at Sasha Banks. She's a good, decent, all-around wrestler. But not now. This was beyond stupid. What is the point? What is the point of having a large woman like Nia Jax when she can't even beat one of the light women majority of the time? She's lost more times to Sasha or Bayley than anyone else. And that's a waste. It's a waste. But it's just my point of view. I hope you enjoyed this Raw Review Mini. Please give me a comment below. And tell me, do you believe Nia Jax is capable, or do you believe that she should be just forgotten about and they just release her? Because as it stands, she should be relevant. And if they're not willing to push her, she should go off to TNA and kick everybody's ass. Sorry, not TNA. GFW. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. GFW. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.